Without giving a specific number, because obviously this is going to vary depending on your price point, how much money should someone prepare or have ready to go to make the decision to buy a house? Is there a certain percentage that they should have?
Yeah, it entirely depends, obviously, on the mortgage.
Yeah.
The minimum's probably around 3 or 3.5%. You probably need to be a first-time buyer, haven't owned a home in about 3 years for those programs, generally speaking.
Okay.
I think the typical, for the areas that we cover, the common question that we get is, what's the typical amount that you need? It's probably 20%.
Okay.
Because when the price point of the loan gets above about $1 million, actually even a little bit less than that, it basically becomes standard. I'm making this sound like a bit of a blanket statement. It's not actually perfect, but it's overwhelmingly likely that 20% is what is going to be needed after you're over let's call it roughly the $1 million range.
Yeah.
It changes. There are lots of different programs out there. I've had people come to me at $3 million with just 10% down. So it depends on your banking relationships too. And again, working in a lot of these high-end towns, if you have a lot of money with a bank like, say, Chase as an example, they may bend all kinds of rules for you. So I think you've got to do the research. But overwhelmingly in our area, you're looking at 20% down.
Does being a first-time home buyer, could that negatively impact your ability to compete?
Unfortunately, in the current market, with how competitive it is, if you're in a multiple offer situation and you have 3% down and somebody else has 20, that looks like a stronger buyer at 20% to most sellers. The same can be said if you have 20% and someone else has 50% down, though. So it's not even the 3%, even when you're putting 20, if you can put more down, that is an advantage in a negotiation. There are lots of different pieces that go into the offer, and what your down payment total is definitely one that is genuinely considered by the sellers.
So that covers the initial down payment. Should there be another budget set aside for things like closing costs?
Yeah, your closing costs are typically going to range between 2 and 3% of the total purchase price. So that covers your lawyer, your inspection is in there. There's probably prepaids required for if you have a mortgage. If you don't have a mortgage, closing costs could be significantly less. However, to be frank, it's just money in your bank account. Since most of the items are prepaid items, in other words, the bank is asking you, if you're getting a mortgage, to prepay the insurance, to prepay the taxes. Those things don't have to be paid if you're paying cash for a property.
Okay. But so if you're not paying cash and you're not a first-time home buyer, have 20% ready to go of whatever the purchase price is of the home, plus another 3 for closing costs, which is fine to just sit in your bank, just have it ready. Okay.
Plus you're going to do some work to the house in our area, unless you're buying something practically new. So there's probably needs to be a little money in there for painting and some light cosmetics, and also moving costs.